'em if you got 'em. All right. 35 years ago today. That 2 days of anniversaries in a row. 35 years ago today, I signed in to basic training, started basic. 17-year-old boy, J. Archer Aldaquist, Judas Archie, RG, Archie. And that's it. I was a kid, 5'8", 135 pounds. I put on some weight since the senior year of wrestling. I was doing 106 my senior year wrestling, wrestle, and then grow. But yeah, got there giggling, fucking throwing grenades, fucking shooting shit. We were on the firing range the first time we were on an open fire range. We had our rifles on safe, and you're sitting there, you're in the little fucking pit there. And they've got stand-up targets, and the first one's coming up at 25 meters, and you're in there, and there's Drill Sergeant Mahabir Singh. He's standing next to me, and for some reason he's by my hole, and the guy's saying, "Take your rifles off safety," and you hear click click, and you're sitting there thinking, that fucker's come up right there at 25 meters. I know it. And you're sitting there, and they say, "The firing range is now open," and that fucker comes popping up 25 meters just like, and I was looking right at him, and I said, squeezing the trigger, nothing's happening. I realized I was too focused on what was going to happen when they were saying, "Take off your safety." And I said, "Oh shit, I didn't do it." So I pushed over my safety, and I said, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." I went just like that, and I was like, "God, I fucking killed that goddamn 25-meter target." And there's fucking Mahabir Singh standing there, Drill Sergeant Maha, and he's saying, "Who the fuck do you think you are, Rambo?" And I said, "No, Drill Sergeant." And I said, and I the next sweat, and pop, pop, pop. I was behind, but it was before they were dropping back down. I was totally focused. It was just, he must have been impressed. That's why I almost got Soldier of the Month if I hadn't fucked one thing up. I was declared with the best final PT score, and it shocked everybody. I'm a sleeper. I grew 2 inches. I was 5'10" and 150 getting out, so that meant everything I'd put on was bone and muscle over those 2 months, and I grew into this thing. It's like my legs got longer from the running. I got long legs. It was almost like Lamarck or something, where you cut off a fucking rat's tail and a mouse, and then it has babies. All the ones after it will be born without tails. That shit doesn't fly, but it's almost like my body fucking knew what it needed to do. We were running all the time, and my legs just fucking rah. If my torso had grown like that, I'd probably be hitting my head off of fucking doorways. Well, the one to the cellar, and there sometimes you gotta go down and feed it. It's a short door. Yeah, so there it was. And they taught us to fucking be a man. Tie your tie. Tai tai, that means wife in Chinese, or husband. Same, there's no gender. And then, when we were doing the M60 range, machine guns. You got a guy with the belts, just like in Rambo. You got some guy carrying your shit for you. And they're standing. There was another drill sergeant from another platoon. We all called him Sergeant Slaughter behind his back because he looked like the wrestler, and they wore the fucking hat and everything. He looked just like Sergeant Slaughter. And about halfway through it, because he's in another platoon, we didn't see him all the time, but one guy talked to him, had to talk to him, and yeah, clear. He didn't say clear. That's an airborne jump school saying clear. You don't, just, I understand Wilco, but yeah. He's, yes, Drill Sergeant Slaughter, and the guy said, wow. And he was doing a lot of push-ups and getting smoked and stuff. He thought that was really his name. But there's Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Huffman was his name. I got my yearbook if you want to see this stuff. My 2-month book. Alpha 246. We get our kicks. Tough soldier, drill sergeant. Tough soldier. We're mad dogs. But he happened to be standing next to me at the M60 range. There were just barrels out there in the field. And I'm sitting around ready to go. This stuff, you know, and you get to run, and you get to crawl through mud. You get to walk through agony, misery, and heartbreak. You get to do all the cool stuff. In the middle of the night, falling asleep, going down a hill, walking, rucksack on your back. Ooh, coming out of being asleep and sleepwalking. I've always been good at that. I've been doing it my whole life. Screaming and thrashing in my sleep. Fucking waking up places going, what the fuck? That's why the first time I ever got drunk, I blacked out, because I'm very susceptible to fucking switching over to the other guy. He'll take care of me. He likes me. I create good cover. I'm sitting there, and he looks at me before they opened up the firing range, and he just bends over and he looks at me. He says, you see that barrel down there? I said, yes, drill sergeant. He says, I want you to tear it a new asshole. And I said, yes, drill sergeant. And they taught us, you go, bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. You don't want to heat up the barrel. You don't want to go clean. Well, he said that to me. I want you to tear it a new asshole. I said, yes, drill sergeant. I had fucking orders. And they said, the firing range is now open. And I said, here goes Rambo. I said, I'm just fucking blowing it all out, tearing a new asshole in that barrel. And they said, ceasefire, ceasefire. Everybody's running, screaming, ceasefire. And all the other drill sergeants, they come around, what the fuck are you doing? And Sergeant Slaughter Huffman, he says, I told them to do it. And they said, oh, and they backed off, and I was like, wow. Who gets to do this shit? Unless you're going to a rally or something. I mean, basic training was so much fun. 35 years ago today I joined. And then there was another almost 4 years, after that, got to go to war and things like that. Drink a lot, get yelled at a lot, get castigated because they just can't get into your fucking mind. You may not be so much that you know yourself, but you know them. Why would you want to let somebody like that in? Unless you think you can't live up to it when the time comes, you'll be too afraid. How can you be afraid? It's so much fun. "35 years ago today, I started basic training. You want to know a better anniversary than that? 31 years ago, yesterday, I fucking got out. All the way, sir. Airborne tough soldier.